Well, welcome first grade. Today we're looking at key elements of a map. And another teacher was so nice to help me with this. So Kristen Alvarez, thank you so much. And this is a sort of review for us before you do your review activity and you take your test. We're going to look again at key elements of a map. Let's begin. What directions are located on this compass rose? Now, I know you all know your directions, so I'm going to label them for you. Well, when I hit the balloon, it'll open up and show us the answer. So let's take a look. At the very top, do you know what it is? Did you say north? You're right. Look at that. N means north. Let's look at the bottom of the compass rose. Do you remember what direction that is? Did you say south? You're right on. S is for south. Now looking at the left, at the pink balloon here, what is directly to the left of north and south on a compass rose? That cardinal direction is? I hope you said west, because you're right. And that only leaves one left over. We have north, we've done south. We know west is to the left, so what's to the right? You got it. East. Great job. Now, let's look at this key. We're going to use this map key to identify what's in Miss Alvarez's bedroom. Now, we talked about this before. You've done your own map key. You can symbolize anything, and some of her drawings just look like big old squares, but I guess we can guess what they are anyway. I would think that this really big one right here, I think that's going to be the bed. What do you think? Would you say bed? Well, let's click on the map key and I'll see if we're right. It is a bed. We got it. Let's see if we can do the next one. There's a key here for this symbol. It looks a little bit like a rectangle. It's a little bigger. I'm thinking it has to be the dresser. What do you think? I mean, you've got something in here that's big. Most of the time people have a lot of clothes. So let's see if it's the dresser. Oh, we are so good at this. Let's look at this next symbol. I'm not sure what it would be. I think it looks a little bit like a TV stand. I know Miss Alvarez has grandchildren. Could be where she keeps their toys, like a little toy box. Could be a bookshelf. I'm not really sure. What's your guess? Well, let's see. Oh, it's a toy box where she keeps her toys for her grandkids. That's sweet. Now, there's these other boxes here. There's only one symbol, but I do see two of them. One, two. Do you know what those are called when they're by your bed, where you put your lamp and your books and things? I hope you said nightstand, because that's right. It's the nightstand. Great job. That map key was just for a bedroom. Let's look at some other ways we use maps and map keys. This time we're looking at a map key that has to do with this map of a town. First, we're going to look and see what is this map element under the box. Oh, that's not the key. Do you know what that's called, where all the directions are? Let's see, box one, compass rose. You're right. Oops, it didn't go off. Let's look at box two. That is something that labels a map, tells us what's on the map. Do you remember what it's called? The title. Again, you guys have this going. You've done it 2 weeks. I know you know what you're doing. Now let's clear box three. There we go. I knew eventually we'd get around to find that key. Of course, it says right here, key, so I know all I have to do is add the word map. That is my map key. That's where all of my symbols are, so I know what each of those symbols mean on the map. Bank, the school, the post office, the store, the library, the house, the office buildings. That's a key for a whole town. One thing we looked at, but we only did it for a little bit, was what's the difference on a map between a physical feature and all the other stuff, the symbols and the drawings on maps? Well, let's take a look. A physical feature is actually part of nature. It's something on a map that signifies things on the earth or in that environment. Here's an example. What is that a picture of? Did you say trees? Oh, you're right, because trees are a physical feature on a map. That means something that's part of the land. It wasn't put there just by a person. What else might be a physical feature? Well, let me see. Do you recognize what that is? My drawing's not great, but I'm so glad you can recognize that. That's grass. So you're right, grass is another physical feature. Let's think of a couple things that are not physical features. Nature didn't put them there. People did. Let's think. What about this thing? Do you know what this might be? Not the best drawer in the world, but I think you can guess. What is that that nature didn't put there, but we see in symbols on a map? Did you say house or houses? You're right. What else might be on a map that people put there? Well, let me think. What about these things? Oh, I know you're going to figure it out soon. They're in a big city. They're in a town too. They could be skyscrapers or maybe they're just really big buildings. Well, let's take a look at a few more of these words. And I don't know where I should put them. The first one is forest. Is the forest a physical feature or is the forest not a physical feature? Do you know where I should put it? You say physical feature. Well, you're right, because a forest is a whole bunch of trees, and they're definitely part of nature. Let's look at one of these others on the bottom here. This says roads. Are roads a physical feature or not a physical feature? They're on the ground, but I don't think nature put them there. I'm pretty sure men build them and women build them. So I'd say roads are not a physical feature on a map. Let's think of another thing that might be confusing. What about a playground? Do you think playgrounds just appear? Did they come out of rocks and they form all by themselves on the land? Are playgrounds something made by a man or a woman or a town? You're right. Playgrounds aren't made by nature. People make them. So I'm going to put a little swing set because that's one of my favorites and a slide right here. Well, let's look at the last four words we have here. I have water. I assume they mean bodies of water, lakes and rivers. Those are all going to be physical features. I'm going to put river, maybe a big lake. Can you think of another physical feature? Oh, that's a great one. I'm going to put the ocean at a huge body of water. Well, let's keep looking. Next, it says plants. Physical or not physical? Oh, you're right. Let's get back to physical. Plants are definitely a physical feature. I have two left. I have computers and mountains. Let's start with computers. I'm pretty sure I woke up today and saw the squirrels out there on their computers in nature, right? No, I'm being silly. Computers do not come from nature. They're made by people, so computers are not a physical feature. And the last one are mountains. I don't know. Yesterday at work, I think I made a mountain. Okay, I'm just kidding. I made a mountain of trash. That's not the same. So over here, mountains are definitely a physical feature. And usually on maps, they look something like tops of triangles. So let's wrap up physical features. What color is to represent the different physical feature? Let's take a look. I'm going to draw a line from the one to represent it to the other. If I was on a map and I was going to color snow, do you know what color you would make it? I know what color I would make it. Did you say white? You're right. I'm sure that I would have to color snow white on a map. Let's take a look at this next one, grass. I don't know which color over here to make it. Should I make it blue, brown, green, or yellow? Even though my grass is a little bit brown in my yard because I don't water it, I still am pretty sure grass is supposed to be green. So I'm going to say grass should be green on a map. Usually it is. Let's look at another one, sand. Would I color that blue or brown on a map? or yellow? I'd say out of those choices, I'm going with yellow because I see also dirt's there, and dirt's usually brown like mud. And the last one to match would be water, and always on a map, water is blue. I hope this was a good review for you. I know it went kind of fast, but now you're going to do a review of some of your terms and vocabulary words for maps, and after that, you're going to take a map test. I'm sure you're going to do great. All right, I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye now.